Hello class, I hope you all are fine. This is a series of tutorials how to use XAMPP or install XAMPP or Visual Studio Code. This is the third one where I will try to explain the XAMPP control panel and how to run PHP code in your server. So without further ado, let's start. If you have been following my last tutorial, you probably know that I already have installed XAMPP on my C drive. Now, as you can see, I have 3 of them. This is the last one I've done on my videos. So here, you need to be familiar with this folder. Obviously, you can see I have multiple versions. For your case, you might be only one. Let's have a look since I made it new for you. On this folder, you'll see a lot of applications that runs together to facilitate you the localhost server. Now, some of them are very important, such as PHP itself. So it has a PHP folder where you can find the PHP related, the files. So down below here, one of the files is very important. It's called PHP ini. Now, this is a configuration file. You will also see 2 other PHP, one called PHP ini development, PHP ini production. Now, we're not going to touch any of these things. Good to know which one is configuration by looking at the type. Now, sometime now and then you have to go in there and change things, add things. It's a very massive file. It's going to quickly go through this first before I go to control panel thing, just to familiar with this application a little bit. So let's open it up with the code editor and see what is it. It's a configuration file just like any other application, but it has a lot of things in here. Most of the things you see are green. That's because it's commented out. The way you comment it out, using a semicolon at the beginning of the line. Let's say I want to change something. Let's find out something. Let's say I want to find XAMPP server. So probably somebody gave me XAMPP server, which I want to add to this file in order to send email. And I can just search Control F to find, and you just paste or type. It's straight to you. You can see my XAMPP server port is now 25. However, if I want to change it, I can say, okay, my company, hosting company gave me this. I can put it there, and I have to save it. This is it. If you, of course, it's better not to change anything without knowing it. It's very sensitive file. It contains all of your setup for PHP to run smoothly. However, let's say I do not want XAMPP port to be activated. All I have to do is put a semicolon before it is turned off. So this is how you do turn off or comment out things. You can also find different things like open SSL maybe. Yeah, open SSL if you want to configure security. So a lot of things goes in here. With the due time, we will come back to now and then we will come back to here. We'll make changes if necessary, file uploading capacity, whatnot. A lot of extensions that you can enable, disable here. So this is a very sensitive place. We'll only do change what we know. And once you save it, you have to reboot your system, this control panel, XAMPP control panel, in order to activate those features. Anyway, so this is a very rundown of PHP ini file. You know where it lives. Let's move on to any other files. Let's go to MySQL. Now, inside this MySQL, this is where the MySQL server lives and your data lives. In here, you have a folder called data. You can take a copy of it in case you need a manual backup. However, I will also show you the GUI way to back it up. It's just to familiarize with these things. There's another important piece of tool that comes with XAMPP, not with any other. It's called SendMail. You can use this, configure this in order to send email from the localhost. As you know, sending email from localhost is not an easy job. Most of your hosting company will reject it, thinking that this is a spam because it's coming from localhost. So you cannot send email from localhost. What we do, we configure localhost send email ini file such a way we add our live hosting ports. So from localhost, it goes straight to our live hosting like 1.com or somewhere. They give you a port, you set that up. Using that, we can send email to everybody. It may not work for many of you, but 90%, 95% it works. So these are the few applications I want to introduce you. Of course, your main web server Apache lives in here. So there are plenty of other things. I'm not going to go through all of them, Perl, whatnot, PHP admin, myadmin. But one key place is where our application lives is called htdocs folders. Now this is same for live server and you. So do not forget that. You can also, keep a copy of this. Now this is where we will be creating our projects. Every project will have different names. This is like a domain name. So this is where our project lives. We'll come back to that in a minute. And so yeah, and where is the control panel, by the way? Scroll all the way down. You'll see some pink color icon. XAMPP start, XAMPP stop. I'm not going to use them. I'm going to use this. Now you can double click on it and open it. However, because you will be frequently using it, I will highly recommend to create a shortcut on your desktop. To create a shortcut, just right click on it, to send to, and create a shortcut. For Mac, you can just do your way, the way you create shortcut. So let's see if I have created. Yes, I have created a shortcut here. I'm going to start that, and it started. Now let's have a look whether it is working. Now time for the truth. So I need to start Apache in order to execute my PHP scripts or server-side scripts. Let's see if it is works. So it's going to go to try to start, and as you can, it started the green, and it is connected on port 80. Now port 80 is the default port for your web browsers where the communication happens, and that is dedicated for this feature. You also have another one called 443. These are default. Now what is a port, by the way? These are not physical port. These are connection point of logical connection point. If you think of a port, you can think of a USB port. USB port. So you have different other ports, physical ports that connect to your, audio jacks and this and that, HDMI cable. Those are physical. But the software, the way they connect with another computer through are called virtual, or they're like non-visible port. They're like a channel between different connections. For example, for web, it is 80. MySQL, it is something. Let's start, see what port is connecting. It's going to connect 3306 port number. That's the default. So for each of this connection, computer produce the default, has a default port number. In case that port is occupied by somebody else, as I mentioned earlier, when you install XAMPP, you might have Skype or Messenger installed, which will occupy this, because many of the Zoom, WhatsApp, and Skype also can run on a web browser. That is the reason they also try to occupy this port. If that is the case, you end up with saying Apache cannot start, port is occupied. How to fix that? There is a fantastic tutorial on Stack Overflow. After this, probably I will try to go through this a little bit. It's not going to happen to all of you, but if it is happening so fast, you shouldn't have this problem and how to fix it. I'm going to iterate that. Okay, now we do not need MySQL at the moment of our stage of a tutorial, but I'm just going to try whether it's working or not. These three, I'm not going to use them, so I'm going to leave them the way it is. Okay, now I have this control panel. I just can click on admin to see my server. Let's fire this administration. When I fire it, it goes straight to localhost dashboard. Now this dashboard is the default system for a server. It gives you a nice interface to go to different places. It also tells you different applications it runs. It's good for overview. It tells you what is happening with version of XAMPP you're running. Remember, XAMPP is a package that combines Apache web server, MariaDB, another name. This is the official name of MySQL, those who doesn't know, called MariaDB. Then you have PHP and Perl. This is another language. We do not use it right now, but those who still use it, they can use it. It comes with a handy tool like phpMyAdmin. I can just click on that. I can go to my database server. So this is the interface of my database server, which I will be going to later on. Okay, I go back. So here, from here, this dashboard, you can go different places. You can check the application, list of applications. You can see the PHP info, the information about the PHP details, very important that you can see, find out different things. You can also do Control F. Let's say I want to see my SQL information. I can just keep pressing and I can see, this has a support. You can see a lot of things. These are very technical. You may not understand all of them, and nobody does. So just to see if you need to organize and see quickly what PHP. This is like a representation of your PHP INI file in a graphical mode. Very helpful. Where did I find it? Very simple. You can click on PHP info. It has it. So this dashboard helps you to start, give you a glimpse. But where is my project? Now let's have a look. Let's create a project. So to create a project, I'm just going to quickly go over to another application and grab a file from there, from my previous. I'm just going to grab an application that I have called Animal Kingdom. I'm just going to put it there. It's pretty much same thing. So where can I make my application? It goes in HTTOC folder. So let's say I want to make a new folder. I'm just going to call it my project, my underscore project, because I'm running out of names. So when you give a name, make sure that it is all a small letter. There is no space between two words, and use underscore, not minus. This is how the domain name system works. And the domain name, you're not going to see a minus that. It's not allowed in a domain name. You can have subdirectory with dash and this, but not domain name. So try to keep it small letter. If you have multiple words, put an underscore in between. So here you can create your project. Now, earlier you saw you had a dashboard launched. That's the default. So don't disturb it, leave it there. Do not have to do anything. I can go to my project now. So I can just get rid of the dashboard and say my underscore project. It could be any. You can put any amount of project there, not a problem. This is empty at the moment. I do not have anything. This is my new project. However, I have copied another project, as you can see. This is called Animal Kingdom. That is from my another XAMPP. I just got it. Let's say this is my project, and I have a lot of files here to give you a quick idea what is going on. This is my another project. Of course, I had this empty project. Didn't do anything there. Just Animal Kingdom. You can create as many projects you want. All I have to now, if I have to change it to this, if I want to project to this, all you have to do, just write the project name. Say Animal Kingdom. Okay, let's see. Yes, my application is running. But you can see there is a little problem with the connection. It's saying you need to connect with my SQL database, which I did not because I just copied it straight away. I have a database running under this, but that's not been set up because we just installed XAMPP 3 latest. So we need to configure that, but you can tell this is running. And a warning sign is telling you, this is good. This is what I expected because I know I have a database. I haven't connected it yet. So it is running. My application is running. Good, fine. But what about my project things? Just see my project is still there. My underscore project. Okay, so this is going to have a new project for now. Okay. So let's do things. Now, I have started from here by clicking admin. You can just type it. Get used to it. It will be easy. Just type localhost and then / and say my project. It will be there. You cannot run any of this file directly from the server. Like for example, PHP scripts will not run any file if you double click on it. It's not going to run. If you try to run it, let's try to run it with, remember that you cannot run it with Chrome like this. It's going to give up all the information away. It's meant to run through the server, writing localhost and / and by clicking on those files. So we'll come to this in a minute. So that's my HTTOC. Create your project admin new one. I have my project. I haven't done anything yet. So I can also go clicking here or typing localhost. I can also go to my SQL database just like this by clicking admin. So I hope you get familiar with it very soon. So that's pretty much it is. I do not want to do any much changes on my control panel. Leave it the way it is. You can close it. If you close it, it's not going to close. It's going to stay near tray here. Just write tray, little tray. The reason that I do not want to occupy my tray too many things like this, I closed it. It did not close. If you look at that, let me see if I can show you. It is running here. I have in fact two of them running, one running. So here, if I right click on it, you can see these are running. I can quit from here. I can say, oh, now show me. I can stop it again. Okay, so that's so about the port issue. We'll go through it later on. If you have that problem, that is saying, oh, Apache is not running because your port is occupied. What can be done? I'll go through this later on. So this is your control panel, and you have made your files, and it's cool. Let's create a file quickly. So I go to my HTTOC. This is my new project. Now I have Visual Studio Code. So I can right click on it, open with code. Remember I said during installation of Visual Studio Code, there are some tick boxes. If you have ticked those boxes, you will see this beautiful feature You can open any project by right-clicking on it and open with code. Bear in mind, this is not available in Mac, only on Windows. Mac, you still have to open the Visual Studio Code first, then open the folder. So I'm going to show you both the way. But the best way to do is this. Just fire it up. It's going to open up. It's going to open up entire environment for you. Yes, I do trust. I do trust. I have a welcome window. Leave it there. My project. I have nothing in here. I have no files in here. I'm going to create some files. So this is one way to open them. Just right-click and open it. Okay. Another way you can open it is, let's say I'm going to open the Visual Studio Code manually. I have a shortcut on my desktop, and I'm going to say, hello, I'm going to open it from open folder. So I'm going to go to here, my project, I'm going to open it. Okay, it is already open, as you can see, because when you open something last time, it is there. So both ways you can open it. Okay, let's move on. Guys, if you have problem following, please review the video. This should do the job. Let's open it up, create some tiny files in here. So one of the files I want to create is called, in here, I'm just going to right click and open file. Look where I'm clicking here, or you can just click on here. Now I'm going to create two files. One is HTML. Actually, I'm not going to create any HTML. I think we have done that live server thing last class, last video. So I'm just going to create PHP scripts. I'm going to say just test.php. I'm not going to create any index. That's because I want to show you what happens if you do not have an index. Let's have a look. And here I'm going to quickly add a little bit of PHP script. So the way I do PHP is very simple. You just type PHP. Make sure anything that you put in between these, if you want to put anything in PHP, just put it there. So here I'm just going to say echo. Echo is a print hello world, or famous hello world. Okay, it's been saved. Fine. Let's fire it up on the browser. Here, if I refresh this, my project, I should be able to see test.php. Now, if I had an index.php, it will straight go to the index.php, because the server are configured such a way that if you put index.php, index.html, index.asp, pick up that as a default. Because I don't have it, it's going to expose all of my files. Now, this is called directory browsing. In a real environment, you should stop people to see all of your files. In the future, we'll teach you how to do those. But for now, let's fire it up. Let's see. So what happened if I just run this file on the browser, just like this, open with Google Chrome. I was hoping this is going to run. Nope, it gave you the information. So you cannot run like this. You cannot double click and run like this. The way to run it is this. You write localhost, it goes to your server, and then pick up the project, and you can see it. Now click on it. There you go, hello world. So it's working. My PHP is perfectly working. So that's pretty much how to use your PHP. And you can continue developing many other things with it. I will have a lot of other things. For example, if I want to write a PHP, I want to see more about PHP that I install. You can just type PHP info built-in function. And if I just go ahead and say, hello, refresh it, I'll be able to see the whole PHP information that you saw earlier. It's good. Okay, so what happens if I have an index file here? Let's go and create an index.php. .php. Now this is index. So I'm just going to throw some boilerplate code. I'm going to say, welcome to my project, or my site, just for fun. Here I'm going to create a little bit of PHP script. PHP, do the same thing. Hello world, echo. I'm going to say, welcome to my project. Welcome to my project. Okay, let's see what it does. So now that I have two files index, see what it fires when I go here and just type again localhost / my project. I just typed it straight away on the index.php. You do not see that index.php, but it is the same. Index.php. You can type to double confirm it. Here you go. This is the same thing. So if you have an index.php file in your project, it's going to fire up automatically. It's not going to show up all the files. So I hope you understand this. Okay. Now, here you can do a lot more things with the PHP, but obviously The objective of this to teach you how to run XAMPP control panel, how to make a shortcut of it, and where your actual project lives. So as you can see, it lives in a htdocs, all your projects. I have another project I want to open. I can open it and I can try it, but we're going to go through this later on. So you could have multiple projects here. And at the moment, I have one project. As you can see, Animal Kingdom I have, but I do not have the database connectivity. It doesn't work. So if I want to fix it, I have to create a table and all these things. This is something we're going to cover later on. So my configuration file here suggests I should have a database, namely this, which I do not have because I just installed it. So I need to configure those things. I need to create a database in my PHP admin, and then this will work. This site will work. So obviously, if you want to know about this, we'll go through this later on. But now, how to run a basic PHP scripts. Okay, while I'm here, I'm just going to quickly go through one more thing with you guys is what happens when you try to start Apache and it tells you the port is occupied. Now, this is quite annoying. And if Apache doesn't start, nothing will work. As simple as that. So to fix those problems, what I do, I do not go to my teacher and ask him all the questions. I just use Google. How to fix port problem with XAMPP for Apache. Okay, let's search it. Now it tells me a lot of different things. I can go there. It has a nice tutorial, but I tend to go for something much more subtle, which I like. It's called Stack Overflow. And this is what I like because they're really helpful. So I'm going to open that. Of course, I have nice videos here. I can watch all over the places. Sometimes it might get even complex to begin with. So I prefer this. Here it nicely tells you with the screenshot how lovely these people are. You see the one is the green. That's the most suggested one. And you can see this, how he's saying. He said, hey, if you want a different port, port 80 is occupied. Follow these steps. So now the port 80 is occupied. He said to click on net set application on my control panel to see which port which application has been taken my port 80. So let's have a look. Now that it is working, you're not going to see this problem, but let's have a look. I click on net state, and the first one is port 80 for your web browser. Remember, this port can be occupied by any of your web-based messenger systems. So you might see WhatsApp here, you might see Zoom here. But luckily for us, it's HTTPD. HTTPD is something that we are looking for. So it's perfect for me. I don't have any problem. But if you see something else, you probably either have to kill that application or stop that application somewhere before you install it so it can occupy itself, or you can change the port. Now, you can assign yourself a port, different port for this 80 instead of 80 for my Apache to connect. Now, how can I do that? Okay, I've seen this is good. But if it wasn't good, if it was a different application, this is program ID, this is the name of the application, then I will have to, if it is other than httpd.exe, then you have to make sure that you either assign a new port for your httpd. HTTP is like a hypertext, anything good. Let's close it. Now, what else it says? Yes, my case is fine, but your case is not. That case, in case that is, you say system or something, we can choose a free port number. In this case, 8012. So this gentleman is saying to add a new port, edit following files. So you can go to XAMPP Apache config folder and then find out this file to configure it. Let's have a look. Let's imagine I have a problem of the ports. I go here. I have Apache, I have config. Here is a file called httpd. This is what we wanted. I'm going to open it. And you see hundreds of things in here, just like your PHP INI file. Now, all I have to do is change two things in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to follow this. It says, please change these sections to 8012 and this section, both of them. So let's copy this. Let's see if I can find in ocean of a lot of things. I just Control F and I paste it and it's found it. So here I can add my new port. So that's one thing done. And I need to also change it to the server name where it says server name. So I'm going to copy this. I'm just going to go here and just paste it. And I'm going to change it here too. So that now new port will be 8012. Now, my one is perfectly working. I didn't have to change it, but I've changed it. So let's keep it that way. So this link will be there. But as I said, please do a search before you can. Every solution is almost available in Stack Overflow, everything. Just give yourself a go. It's good to learn and it's good to do your own search and analytical skill. So when you're out there job, your boss not gonna come and tell you everything or teach you. You would find a way to do these things. We have learned that way in many cases. But as I said, you don't have to remember all of these things. First, find it. So yeah, of course, I have changed it. And there are other things. If this doesn't work, this says, hey, go and change further down. But I would not recommend you to deal with virtual host at the moment. I think most cases it will be fixed. Only one thing, because you have changed your port number, when you type on your local host, you also have to add this port number with the local host. This is what the gentleman said. So let's have a look. But I have changed it, my port, but my port is still this. So I have to stop my server. I'm going to start it. Let's see which port it connects. 8012. This is fine. So good. Now let's see if I can. I've changed my port, even though I didn't have the problem. Now this doesn't come. If I do this, I couldn't find it. Oh no, I couldn't find it. The reason that I couldn't find it because I forgot the port. So do it like this. Put a colon here and say 8012. Remember, you have to add this all the time if you had that problem. Now it's working. So this will be your port. I will put these things, this one, into the description of the video so you can click and check how to fix the port. As I said, not everybody will have that problem. Those who have the problem, please follow the procedure. I hope this will help you to do this. As I said, make a shortcut here. You can, if you really want to go to htdoc often, like, you get tired of, browsing all the way to htdoc, you can do right click, send a desktop icon. Then straight away you can access it. Double click on it. I hope it is created somewhere. As you can see, I have hundreds of different icons. God knows where I kept it. Anyway, you can just quickly double click and go there. Anyway, that's all for me today. And do let me know if you have any problem understanding any of this. Thank you.